All right, welcome back to main title animation. This is frame 5, scene 5. For this particular scene, the style frame told me that this was different than the other previous scenes because the frame is actually divided into two separate scenes, a left and a right scene, a slightly different framing device. So I thought this scene would be interesting to animate. It actually went a little bit smoother than the previous last couple scenes. So without further ado, let's jump into scene 5. To start off this animation, I always like to play back a scene or two. So I've already marked a couple of places in this scene where I want a few things to happen. So again, on this scene, I want to use some footage that I found through Creative Commons, and I thought that this helicopter footage would work nicely to replace the image of the helicopter that was in the style frames. It's challenging that the helicopter is so large in the frame based on the design, but we can make this work. I think it might be interesting to do a pan left to right on this particular scene. So that's what I'm setting up here. The helicopter will start on the right. The camera will then move to the left. The camera will move to the right. The helicopter will move to the left. And then the photograph of the soldiers will come in. So we'll have to come up with something on the left side of the frame to start with. So here I'm just masking a piece of footage. Making the titles 3D, bringing them into position. The code that you see on the left side of the frame that disappears was something that was set up in the design phase. So cool, I mean, this is the basic structure of the scene. I've pre-selected this image of a soldier holding a medal. I'm going to use this in the left part of the frame to open up. It's not going to be focused on this part of the frame for very long, so this is not a super important image to see. Again, back to the camera blur. Rack focus is huge in this title sequence. So each of these number markers is pointing the music where I want something to happen, preferably a camera move to happen. Can't tell you how much I love the new camera lens blur effect. I think it just does an awesome job of emulating a lens depth of field out of focus blur. So what I'm starting to think here is that I may try and do the camera starts with a pan left to right, and then I think I may try to do a quick pullback to reveal something in this frame. And I think that something is going to be this warship. So this is just a quick idea of a quick pullback with the camera. So now I'm going to try a different approach where I move the camera down and back at the same time. So it's almost kind of like a diagonal move. What I'm doing here is cutting out the bottom portion of the image of the soldiers that's overlapping into the scene. I'm doing a quick shortcut here, option bracket, to trim the handles on the layers. So this has become like a two-part camera move. It moves down, the camera moves down and then back, which is cool. It's so quick. Once I add the motion blur to the ship, it'll look a little better. Here I'm playing around with the idea of maybe adding a little rotation to the image, to the camera move. But no, I'm not a fan of that. So now what I've done is duplicated the ship and the framing, the slide frame for the ship. I've duplicated those two, and I've brought this duplicated set forward in Z space and up. I'm going to try an effect where the second set of images slides down really quick in front of the camera, like it's maybe like a slide that was placed right in front of the camera. The camera doesn't move to see the second set of slides. These set of slides are just dropped down in front of the camera. It's almost like each slide that's dropped in gives us a closer glimpse of the ship. So now I've decided I need to move everything up just slightly based on the music. It was not flowing quite right to me. So now these slides can come in with the music hits. So as these slides come in, it'll be interesting to play with their rack focus as well with the camera lens blur. Yeah, you see how quick that was, but it gives a little more interest to the animation. So here I've added the ship to the background. I tried this on frame 3, I believe, where I just add the ship or the image to the background and blur it. And I think it kind of works in this case. So here's another pre-selected image. It's got Dwight Eisenhower and some other military officials. And I think this will be a great third shot to the sequence. And then here is another group of African American soldiers. I thought this was a really cool image for a fourth shot. So you can see I've replaced the Navy ship. Second panel with this group of soldiers, and the Navy ship third panel with this third group of soldiers. So now it's a little more interesting. The imagery just got more interesting. It's a mix of new and old. New images being the helicopter and the Navy SEALs here in the first two panels, and the old with the Eisenhower and the African American soldiers. So I think I need to extend this scene. And make it last a little bit longer. So to do that, I'm going to add another piece of footage, which I've pre-selected of this soldier, I believe in a tank, riding through the desert. Again, this kind of changes things up because it's just going to be a single shot with texture over it. So there's already so much going on in the first part of the scene, with the camera moving left and right and down and back and the slides dropping in. I think if we added something else complex at this point, it'd be too much. So a simple one shot here will probably work really well. So what I'm doing here is just tightening everything up. I want things to happen just a little bit quicker. And I want these things to happen quicker based on sound cues. So here I'm adding just a secondary move to the camera to keep things moving along. I think for this scene it'd be kind of interesting if the camera was always just slightly moving, like it never truly stops. So it's getting closer. Bringing in the famous Kodak blue texture. texture has been a lifesaver. I'm thinking it can give me some faux depth in this scene, like it has in other scenes, by being brought forward in Z space, blurred slightly, so it'll move in parallax to the helicopter and the Navy SEAL soldiers. I really like the secondary camera move I've added right here too, and then how it slides to the right. I think that's working well. So I'm just motion tiling the Kodak blue image so that it's a much larger image, in case the camera flies off somewhere and we see the edge. I don't want to see the edge of the Kodak texture. Yeah, now the repeating of the texture is getting to be a little bit too much for me here. But that's not bad. Gotta fine tune the placement of the first frame of the camera. There's a texture that's cutting off on the left side there. There's an easy fix. Cool, I like that. So here I'm just playing with the layer stacking of the blue Kodak texture. I wanted to see it above certain images and below other images. Just gonna undo that and reposition back to where it originally was. Turn off the motion tiling. I think it was too much. And there, that'll work for me for now.